thinking about moving to St. Albert this summer, especially with kids, I want you to pause before you fall in love with that house online. Because yes, the kitchen matters, the bonus room matters, the backyard matters, the pantry that can actually handle Costco snacks, also deeply important. But when families move here, the house is only one piece of the puzzle. The bigger question is, does the neighborhood actually fit your life? Your school routines, your commute, your kids' activities, your Costco runs, your weekend rhythm. We only have 7 minutes to get out the door and someone can't find a shoe mornings. So today I'm going to walk you through what I would tell my best friend before she moved to St. Albert this summer. No hype, no pressure, no pretending every neighborhood is perfect for every family. Just the honest things you need to think about before you choose where you live. I'm Lee. I'm a family-focused realtor in St. Albert and Edmonton. I've lived in St. Albert for over 35 years, and I've helped families relocate here with more clarity and less panic. And by the end of this video, you will have a much better idea of what to look for, what mistakes to avoid, and how to choose a neighborhood that actually works for your family. Let's get into it. The first thing I want you to know is this: summer can make every neighborhood look better. I love St. Albert in the summer. The trails are beautiful, the parks are busy, families are outside, kids are biking around, people are walking their dogs. It has that sweet little "we should totally move here" feeling. And honestly, that feeling is part of why people fall in love with St. Albert. The city has large parks, a trail system, including the Red Willow Trail system, and there are a lot of spaces for families to walk, play, picnic, and get outside. But summer can also hide things. A neighborhood may feel peaceful on a sunny Saturday afternoon, but what is it like on a Tuesday morning when everyone is trying to get to school and work? A street may feel quiet in July, but what happens when school starts and drop-off traffic kicks in? A location may look close to everything on Google Maps, but is it actually convenient for your family's daily life? This is where families can get tripped up. So when you are looking at St. Albert neighborhoods in the summer, do not ask, "Do I like this house?" Ask, "Would our normal weekday life work from here?" The second thing families need to think about is school fit. And I know school conversations can feel overwhelming. Public, Catholic, French immersion, school zones, programs, transportation, before and after school care. It can all feel like someone handed you a puzzle and said, "Good luck." St. Albert does have strong school options, but you still need to check the details before you choose a house. Don't assume the house you love automatically connects to the school you have in mind. Do not assume every neighborhood has the same school access. Before you write an offer, check the school division, boundaries, program, commute, and care options. Because for families, school is not just a building. It affects your mornings, it affects your friendships, it affects activities. It affects how settled your kids feel. Choose the lifestyle first, then find the house that supports it. Now let's talk about neighborhood personality. St. Albert is not one big identical suburb. Some neighborhoods feel more established with mature trees and larger lots. Some are newer with modern layouts and younger families. Some are super convenient. Some are quiet and tucked away. None of these are better or worse. It depends on your family. I grew up in Deer Ridge, and I still remember exactly what it felt like. The sidewalks full of bikes, the kind of street where most parents on the block knew every kid on the block. That personality doesn't disappear as a neighborhood ages. It's actually part of the draw. If you have little kids, you may care about playgrounds and nearby schools. If you have teens, you may care about programs and space. If you commute, access to roads matter. If you work from home, quiet and layout matters. This is why I don't love the question, "What's the best neighborhood?" The better question is, best for who? Before you start touring, make a real life list of what your family needs. The third thing I want you to think about is the commute and traffic. Depending on where you live, your commute can feel very different, even between two neighborhoods that look identical on a map. So here's my advice: test the drive. Not on a Sunday afternoon when the roads are empty and you're feeling optimistic. Test it at the actual time you'd leave. If you'd be doing school drop-off at 8:15, drive it at 8:15. If your commute into Edmonton starts at 7:30, Drive it at 7:30, ideally more than once, because one good day does not mean much. I've had clients fall for a house because the drive felt like nothing on a lazy Sunday tour, and then feel completely blindsided in St. Albert when St. Albert Trail backs up and the school buses are running. 5 minutes on paper can turn into 15. In real life, especially with the St. Albert traffic lights. And 15 minutes twice a day, 5 days a week, and adds up to a lot of your family's actual time. So before you fall in love with the house, fall for the drive first. The fourth mistake I see families make is focusing only on the house and not enough on the weekly routine. Where will you get groceries? Where is the pharmacy? Where are your activities? Where is your coffee? These things matter. A house that is only 10 minutes away can feel very different when you're doing that drive 5 times a day. So when you look at a house, picture an actual Tuesday, not a dreamy Saturday, a Tuesday. That's when your neighborhood either helps you or drives you bananas. The fifth thing to think about is outdoor lifestyle. This is one of the reasons families love St. Albert. Parks, playgrounds, trails, river valley areas. The Red Willow Trail system alone offers nearly 100 kilometers of trails. Not every neighborhood gives you the same access. So when you're touring, don't just look inside the house. Drive the area, walk the street, check the parks. The sixth thing to consider is timing. Summer feels like that perfect time to move. Kids are out of school, the city looks its best. And then there's the sense that you need to get settled before September hits. But that same pressure can push families into decisions faster than they normally make themselves. I've seen it happen. A family loves a house on day 1 of touring and writes an offer that afternoon, only to realize 2 weeks later that they never checked the school boundary, or they didn't realize the quick commute only works outside rush hour. Rushing doesn't mean you end up with the wrong house, but it does mean you're more likely to skip steps you normally take your time on. So before you start touring, get clear on the things that won't change no matter how much you love a listing. Budget, school needs, commute, non-negotiables. Get those locked down first, then shop. The house will be there in a week. The wrong decision is a lot harder to undo. The seventh thing is that Edmonton may still be a part of your decision. St. Albert offers a smaller family-focused feel. Edmonton offers more variety and inventory. Neither is better. It depends on your lifestyle. Compare daily life, not just price. Let's pull this together. If you're moving to St. Albert this summer, do not choose based only on the house. Check school fit, check the commute, picture your Tuesday, look at your real lifestyle. Do not rush, compare honestly. The right move is not about the fanciest house. And if you want to keep researching, watch the next video where I break down the best St. Albert neighborhoods for families. Because the goal is not to just move, the goal is to move well. And I will see you in the next video.